Well, welcome. We have Ms. Michelle Lynne with Design for the Creative Mind and also ML Interior. She's here locally with me. Welcome, Michelle.
Well, thank you, Jana, for having me. I'm so honored.
Well, I know you and I go back. We go back from like literally recess, sitting at round table discussions and, you know, those chapter meetings.
Yes.
You had your staging business. I had mine. It was so nice to be able to, you know, serve the community. And so tell us a little bit about how you got into this industry when it comes to home staging, and then how you kind of pivoted into design.
So long story short, I have had decades of experience in a corporate environment. So it was not design or staging related or anything. My company that I was working for at the time, I was in a couple levels of management, they sold. And I was just like, I'm out. I do not love sitting in a cubicle. I can only see the corporate mentality getting more and more, just, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, God, what next? And I've always been great at helping my friends get their house ready for sale. Just, you know, we'll work for wine, let's rearrange your furniture and so forth. So I stepped out of management, and over the course of a couple of years, grew my staging business. Like, I took some courses, I learned what staging was. It wasn't just making a house pretty, it's making it sell, and all of those little details. And eventually, a year and a half after I had made that decision, I was able to step out of corporate and do staging full-time. Loved it, had a great time, met some lovely, lovely individuals that I'm still in touch with through RESA, and got some inventory and just kind of cruised along that process. And then in 2013, so let me back up. So I started my staging business in the middle of the Great Recession. So I got married that year, bought a house, started a business. It was busy, 2008.
Right.
Made it through there. So, you know, anybody who's watching in the middle of some financial uncertainty, just know that it gives you a great chance to create some solid platforms, processes, and procedures. Don't stop working.
Yeah.
If anything, double down and make sure your processes are solid. Yes. And keep hustling. So we were doing that, getting business. And then in 2013 here in Dallas, I'm sure you recall,
yes,
like the staging market, well, the real estate market boomed. So you
yes.
get a call on Monday from a realtor saying, hey, I need you to come out and stage this occupied home on Wednesday, because Thursday I'm taking pictures, Friday it's going on the market. They'd put a sign out saying coming soon, and then Tuesday you'd get a call saying, I need to cancel because we already have 3 offers.
That's right. We became an option, not the necessity.
Oh my gosh. So all of a sudden, like, my business was drying up, and I was like, holy cow, what next?
Yeah.
So fast forward, I had to hustle and focus as much on staging and convincing people that you still need to stage, and like vacant staging, especially, so that my inventory could get out of my warehouse, because
right.
it was like piling up. And then I had to really focus on design.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was probably doing 90% staging and 10% design. Within 6 months, we had been doing 90% design and 10% staging.
Wow.
And I didn't know what the heck I was doing, like how to charge, the processes that I had put together for my staging business. Like, all of this had to be like on the fly, just made up. And it was stressful, but it was so rewarding and so fun when it came to fruition.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my story. It was a hustle, reevaluate, pivot.
It's on the fly.
Yeah, and it's one of those funny things. It's you know, 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards. It's called the cha-cha.
Yes. Yes.
So we've just been dancing since 2008.
Yeah, and you built a team. You had hired designers. You then pivoted to more of a design firm. You know, thinking about it, like creating an atmosphere, you know, that allows people to come in that are really all levels, right? So you're probably dealing with Uber luxury, you're dealing with commercial.
Yes.
Crazy.
And I think that that's been part of our success, is because when I created my business in 2008, can you hear that?
It's fine.
Thank goodness for everybody working from home these days. They're not supposed supposed to be here till this afternoon. Anyway, I think that one of the things that has made my company sustainable through the Great Recession, through the COVID, through all of this, is because I didn't know better.
Yeah.
And I created different levels of service for individuals who weren't going to be just luxury.
Yes.
So we've always had the luxury full service interior design, and then we've got a modified, and then we have like the e-design.
Wow.
And it was the same thing like with staging packages that we created. It was like, so you don't need all of this. Let's just whittle it down for the investors.
Yes.
And get you what you need to get the job done.
Yes.
And so, yes, actually my interior design business outgrew my skill set. So,
which
like,
we can't be afraid of, right? I mean, isn't it? It's amazing because we of course have our own, like, this is my business, but then we get those securities. It becomes a security blanket. Then we hire the team, we get insecurities that, am I needed? Am I now the dumbest person in the room? And sometimes we have to be okay with that. Like, that's how business not only grows, but thrives and can be duplicatable.
I think that you have to leave your ego at the door.
Yes.
Because you know what? I might not, like, I could probably create some designs as good as or better than my team, but it would take me 18 years longer.
Right.
How do you charge for that? So it's letting go of that. And being the CEO of the business, which I think is something that needs, I think permission needs to be granted. Girl, you are the CEO of the business. You are not the intern. You need to be looking at the big picture, at the next goal, the end result, like begin with the end in mind and back into that. And don't get lost in the minutia of the exact right paint color shade or fluffing the pillows or whatever. You need to be strategic. And if strategic is hiring somebody who's better than you, then it's an intentional choice.
Yeah.
And as long as that individual is, collaborating and talking to you and inclusive, you have to make it safe for them.
Yeah, the trust is there, right? The trust is there. I think that's huge when you're thinking about building a team, growing a business beyond yourself. Is understanding, it has to be the right teammates for this thing to thrive and really gain ground. And we both probably had wrong hires, and we've had the people that are right hires, and they sustain time. Then we've had the hires that literally have come in and taken our business to a whole nother level, almost like a paradigm shift, because they've brought their gifts, talents, and strengths. And we're not just hiring newbie people, green people that we're having to train from scratch. We're hiring people that are seasoned, right? That literally bring in the new ideas.
And it's an investment.
Yes.
You just like with furniture, you get what you pay for.
Right.
There's staging furniture that looks really good, but you're not going to want to take a nap on it.
Right.
And then there's that other couch that you just never want to get off of. So it's getting out of your own way. I really think that that's the case, and allowing yourself to be successful. Like, we all have our own money stories and our own money relationships and our own money issues and so forth, that we have to learn how to work through and identify that and give ourselves permission to succeed.
Yes.
So,
well, you're talking about pivoting a lot, and you've obviously transitioned and been so successful at it. So now all of a sudden we get hit by the Mack truck of COVID, and for designers, they may have even had some different challenges than the staging community. But at the end of the day, we all need to be in property to make this work. So how did you guys handle this situation?
So we basically just said, look, we know this is a scary time, but here's how we operate. And my team has been working virtually for over a year now. So we had a lot of things in place. So I got rid of my brick and mortar studio.
Okay.
And it was just because it was sitting empty for 3 days a week because we were all working remotely. So it's reaching out to your clients. It's reassuring them that, yes, this is a really scary time and we get it. And we're here for you when you're ready. We have clients, because it is a luxury service, that are like, I don't even know if I'm going to have my job at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So we need to cut this project in half and finish this up. But at the same time, we're also reassuring them that like, we've been through this before, and we can take things in phases.
Yes.
We're socially distant. You know, we do a lot of our meetings have already been on Zoom.
Right.
I mean, hallelujah.
Yes.
We knew how to work that program. And then we've brought back our e-design service, which we had kind of let wane for a while. So we can offer that. And we've got a couple other things at the pipeline.
Yeah.
And an additional, because I had created this online platform to teach interior designers how to manage their business instead of their business managing them. You know, I've doubled down into that avenue and just really said to all of the designers, ReDesigners, is like, this is the time, and this goes for stagers too, this is the time that you need to spend really diving into your processes and procedures and honing them, because this isn't going to last forever. Right. And as soon as the floodgate opens and people are like, okay, I'm ready, you are going to either sink or swim.
Yes.
And you, baby, want to be the one who is like out there paddling past all the others who just sat around being scared.
And you bring up a good point. It's like, who's going to survive this in our industries, you know, and it is the ones that are getting tougher and stronger during this time, even if it's kind of been a hibernation season for them of really working on the internal components of our business. But do you feel like we're going to have a thinning of the herd?
We did in 2008.
Yeah.
We did in 2013.
Not, right?
But I also think that a lot of that comes down to your mental fortitude and your mental stamina. But, you know, like, I have recognized in myself through this whole, whoever imagined a global pandemic, right? This is something that's just completely out of, you know, a really bad movie.
Yes.
But I think we also have to give ourselves grace. Like, some days, Jana, I am a freaking superhero and I can get all sorts of stuff done. And then the very next day, I'm like a super zero. And like, getting dressed is a struggle because of all of this external emotion that we've never even thought about training our minds to manage. So I think that we have to give ourselves that grace. But another thing I believe is, as we go through this COVID quarantine and then all of the social, you know, conversations that are going on, and then we're scrolling through Instagram and we're like, well, she's got her stuff together and she's got her stuff together and they're doing great and they're doing great, that we really have to step back and monitor our own intake. It's just like, we watch what we eat. Right. We should watch what we consume in our mind as well. So if the news gets you all whacked out, don't watch the news.
Yes.
If scrolling through Instagram gives you these comparison, you know, issues that you're like, well, I'm going to be the one that goes out of business because they've got all their stuff together, then stop scrolling.
Right.
Like, I really just believe that we have to be our biggest advocate as to what is good for us.
Yes. Yes.
And one more thing on that, because I'm getting on a roll and I know that we don't have all the time in the world, but one of the things that I really share with my students and my clients is, don't believe everything you think. Yeah. So
there you go.
If you are sitting around thinking this, that, or the other that's not true, you are not your thoughts.
Yeah.
So,
and feeling is typically not fact.
Exactly. So it's easy to get stuck in that feeling, in those thoughts of insecurity, comparisons, and so forth, and just don't.
Right.
Put the damn phone
keep
down.
Doing the next right thing. I mean, that's
yes.
Really been my life motto is, and I of course don't get it right all the time, but it's like, if I can just keep doing the next right thing with the right heart, the right intention, that's only going to be blessed. That's only going to prosper. And if I fall down, I just get back up, dust off your knees and keep moving forward.
Exactly. Did you know we adopted?
I did see that. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. So it's a whole other thing. Yeah, it's a whole other thing. Yeah. So one of the things that I learned is, so her name's Genevieve Grace, we call her Gigi, is that when she was learning to walk, like when she fell,
Yeah.
like we never yelled at her, like, get up, you idiot. Like you were walking and you fell. Like, why do we talk like that to ourselves?
Yes.
Like if you fall, if you stumble, if you land on your booty, then you just say, that didn't work. Let me try it again.
Mm-hmm.
So like, don't talk to yourself like you wouldn't talk to your toddler as she's learning to walk.
Right. Absolutely.
I think she'd be scarred for life.
Exactly. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I love the thought of, just keep moving forward. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It is a dance, and that's the fun of life. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to have to figure this out. We're going to have to pivot. If the beauty of community is we do get to knowledge share, and that's the beauty of training as well, right?
Well, that's a friend of mine who's also in Dallas, who's a designer. She's like, why are you like lifting the hood of everything that you've done that's successful? Like, I literally lay it all out. Like, here's my 16 steps of sanity, and here's exactly how I price. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because there's enough business for all of us, right, and we all deserve to be successful in our own right. Mm-hmm. You might not want to build an empire. You might just want to make enough money to pay for your kids' college, mm-hmm, or to go to Disneyland. Well, maybe not this year, but like whatever you want, if I can help you do that, yeah, then there's room for all of us. And I think a mutual friend of ours used to say, it was a Kennedy quote, that a rising tide lifts all boats. Right. Absolutely. So if I can share where not to go, mm-hmm, like, don't do that because you're going to lose a bucket of money. Sure. I would do that for my best friend or my sister. Why wouldn't I do that for somebody in the same industry who has the same struggles and understandings? Well, I agree, Michelle. I feel like, one thing that again has been so revealing to me is we're all trying to build these little fires. Why not one big fire? Why can't we raise the professionalism of our industries? Why can't we collaborate together and connect in new ways so that it does people do see a difference in us working together, and we are able to support one another, which then helps that education rise. It helps people make better choices. With the people that are open to collaboration and connection, then that's only a good thing. We now collapse time. Yes, 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 yes. It makes everybody's life easier. It makes everybody more money. I believe, elevates the level of professionalism, yes, that our industries are seen as, because I know that y'all are humping away like hard ass work, especially when it comes to some of those vacants. Yes. And it's not just fluffing pillows and picking out paint colors. So being valued for what we do, I think, comes from the community and each of us sharing our knowledge and continuing to elevate, yes, the entire perception, because this ain't HGTV, and I know you've done HGTV and you can see the difference. Exactly. Exactly. So it's like education has to happen, or re-education, in many ways, because they do think the HGTV is real, and hey, I can get staging for $500, or a designer working for free that isn't even on a remodel show that right, they didn't even they didn't even count that money of what they would really charge. So we have to re-educate the community, as well as providing the best of the best service. Yes. And I think that comes from having the confidence to speak up, mm-hmm, and maybe not be a people pleaser. Yeah. When it comes to your clients, you need to be a people educator. Yes. Like, just because that's what they want doesn't always mean it's in their best interest. Yes. Having a 2-year-old has taught me that a lot. Exactly. It's the value that we bring, right? Value. If they're harping on the price, then they're not understanding the value. So it's constant education. I love that. Well, Michelle, give us a little bit of encouragement as we finish up. Tell like the listeners now, maybe they are struggling with the comparison game. Maybe they are, seeing that I don't know what my tomorrow looks like. Whether I'm in design, staging, real estate,
what are some words of encouragement you can input into them?
I will just say that if we, my encouragement would truly be is that you are the creator of your own life. Like, design your life like you design a room.
Yeah.
And you need to, I would consider looking at the end result and working backwards towards that. Giving yourself grace to not be perfect. Y'all, as women, we are so freaking hard on ourselves.
Sure we are.
And what I've learned is, like, if it's not perfect, I'm not doing it. And all I have to say is baby steps are better than no steps.
Yes.
And done is better than perfect. Because you can always go back and revise it. But what you do as stagers, what we do as designers, they are so valuable to changing people's lives. And if we come at it from a place of service, if we are looking at how many people can I serve versus how much money can I make this year,
right?
You know, then you know, I love me some Jesus, but I get a little woo-woo. So I believe that the energy we put out into the universe is truly heard, and it comes back to us. So if we're just looking at how much money can I make, blah, 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 it's not going to be sending out the right energy.
Yeah.
It is going to truly be how many people can I serve? And then those are the individuals that are going to be knocking on your door. Yes. So it's all a state of abundance. Because there's
not
enough
poverty mindset, right?
No, there is no scarcity. Like, everybody has a house. So if everybody has a house, everybody technically needs us.
That's right. Everyone is a lead.
Everyone is a lead. And if you rent, then fine. You probably need us in a way too. So just stay focused, stay positive. Don't live in fear. Acknowledge the fact that this is some really freaky times, and then get out of that mindset. Turn off the news. Yeah. And
I love it.
I think it's just so important. Control your thoughts.
Yeah. Design your life like you would design a room, and take inventory, and, you know, figure out where some updates need to happen.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Michelle, tell everyone how they can connect with you. What are the best ways?
So, ML Interiors Group, fully established. That is my team of designers, myself, beautiful work I'm blessed to call my creation. Not my creation, but my first baby. Yes. Second one recently is called Designed for the Creative Mind, and that's a website as well. And there's all sorts of free resources there. I have online courses that I teach on a regular basis, one-on-one coaching. But both of those handles, ML Interiors Group and Designed for the Creative Mind, Instagram is the place for us. We've got some Facebook activity there as well, but Instagram gives you a lot of behind the scenes and so forth. And I would love to see you guys there. And if you need anything, and Jana, if we can partner to help your audience anywhere, any place, I am at your beck and call.
I love it.
Because it is just, we are all a team. It's just a separate arm of the same vehicle.
There you go. I love it. Well, thank you, Michelle. We appreciate your words of encouragement and your outlook. It was so good to see you too. We'll definitely be connecting. Thank you again.
Thank you.